Today, we're diving into the psychology of money. And look, this isn't really a finance deep dive. It's more like a diagnosis, showing us how our own minds can be our worst enemy when it comes to building wealth. So let's just start with the central question, right? Why do really smart people do some truly boneheaded things with their money? You've read the books, you've done the research, but something still feels off. Well, it's because being smart doesn't protect you from your own biases. In fact, sometimes it just gives you more clever ways to justify them. And here it is, the core of the whole thing. The decisions you make with your money feel completely rational to you because, well, they're your decisions. But that's the trap. Money isn't about spreadsheets. It's about emotions, ego, fear, and desire. And if you don't understand the psychology behind it, you're just doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Okay, so for our first section, let's explore this hidden enemy. We're going to look at why the biggest risk to your financial future is probably staring right back at you in the mirror. Think about this for a second. Everything you've personally experienced with money is just a tiny, microscopic sliver of financial history. But that tiny sliver shapes almost 100% of how you see the world. I mean, if you grew up during a massive stock market boom, you're going to see risk way differently than someone who saw their parents lose everything in a crash. Same world, completely different realities. And it makes your choices feel totally logical to you, even if they look absolutely insane to somebody else. And this quote just nails it. It reframes the whole conversation. See, it's not about judging people's choices. Everyone has a unique story that shapes how they think about money, their personal fears, their hopes, their background. Their decisions make perfect sense within their own story. Nobody's actually crazy. This leads us right into our next big mental trap: how we completely misunderstand what wealth actually is and what it looks like. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? We tend to judge wealth by the things we can see: the fancy car, the expensive watch, the giant house. But that's not wealth. That's just spending. Real wealth is what you don't see. It's the stocks, the bonds, the savings, the financial assets that haven't been turned into flashy stuff yet. It's the money that's quietly working for you in the background. This is something called the man in the car paradox, and it's brilliant. You see a Ferrari drive by. What's your first thought? It's probably not, wow, that person driving must be so cool and successful. No way. It's, man, I wish I had that car. You aren't admiring the person at all. You're just using their stuff as a reflection of your own desires. So trying to buy admiration from other people, it's a game you just can't win. All right, let's switch gears a little to a truth that can be kind of hard to swallow. We love to believe that success is all hard work and failure is all laziness. But the reality is, luck and risk play a massive role in every single outcome. I mean, take Bill Gates. The guy's a genius, no doubt about it. But he also had a 1 in a million stroke of pure luck. Back in the 1970s, he just happened to go to one of the only high schools in the entire world that had a computer. That one little accident gave him a massive head start. Years of practice before almost anyone else even knew what a computer was. Now, let's look at the flip side of that coin. His close friend, Kent Evans, was right there with him, just as brilliant, just as obsessed. But Kent was hit by a 1 in a million dose of pure risk. He died in a mountaineering accident before he even graduated. Two brilliant people, two totally different outcomes, and so much of it was completely outside of their control. So what's the lesson here? It's humility. You have to be humble. Because we can't control luck and we can't control risk, we have to be really careful about who we choose to admire. These extreme success stories are often the result of wild circumstances that you just can't replicate. So instead of trying to be the next Bill Gates, it's a lot smarter to study the broad patterns of success that actually are repeatable. Okay, so we've looked at some of the biggest mental hurdles. So what do we do about it? Well, the solution starts by completely redefining the goal of this entire financial journey. We have to change what it means to win. And this right here, this is the real prize. This is the whole point. True wealth isn't about having a bigger house or a faster car. It's about having control. It's about autonomy. It's the freedom to wake up and have complete control over your time, to make your own choices, because you're not forced into anything by a need for money. So how do you get that freedom? Well, it's not about being the smartest investor or picking the perfect stock. The single most powerful force in all of finance is simply time. You know, our brains are just not wired to intuitively get how powerful compounding is. That idea of your money making its own money, and then that money making more money, especially over really long periods. I mean, just look at this number. It's absolutely insane. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people ever, and almost all of his net worth was earned after he was old enough to get Social Security benefits. He didn't get rich by hitting home run after home run. He got rich by earning good returns consistently and just staying in the game for a very, very long time. That's the real secret. So let's wrap all this up into a new mindset you can walk away with. First, stop trying to be perfectly rational. Aim to be reasonable, because a reasonable plan is one you can actually stick with. Second, build a plan that can survive a few hits from reality. Give yourself a margin for error. Third, you have to know when enough is enough, so you can finally get off that endless treadmill of comparing yourself to others. And last, never, ever forget what the real prize is: true freedom and complete control over your own time. And that really brings us to the final, most important thought. The money you save pays you a dividend that isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in autonomy, the ability to live your life exactly on your own terms. And that, when you get right down to it, is the highest form of wealth there is.